My guest this evening certainly knows all about that, having come frighteningly close himself to starting to medically transition to become a woman, influenced not by gender dysphoria, but by trauma experienced both in childhood and adulthood, and by social forces. He's an entrepreneur, an art curator, and the son of legendary photographer David Bailey. And he is doing his best to reach other young people who, at low points in their lives, might be mistakenly driven to go down the same road he nearly went down. A very big welcome to the show, Sascha Bailey. Sasha, how are you?
Hello, thank you for having me, Daisy.
No, not a problem.
Good, thank you, good.
I'm very, very glad.
Yeah.
I'm very glad to have you here. This is going to be a very interesting chat. Now, tell me, as I mentioned, you very nearly went down the transition road. You stopped eventually, but what was it as an adult that made you think that you were trans?
Well, I did actually suffer from dysphoria in bouts growing up, but I feel like it wasn't exactly gender related until later on. So the problem with the kind of feeling of dysphoria is it's an abstract feeling. So one person might feel one thing, another will feel another. When I was in Tokyo, I was kind of isolated. I had no one around, and I did, as you said, I looked to people who have solved their problems. I looked to people who have had this kind of new identity, and a way of escaping myself and escaping the situation I was in because the environment was impossible to change. I kind of looked to changing myself. At least it was impossible in my mind at the time.
Yes, so it was a dysphoria then that you felt when you were younger but wasn't related to gender, but then became related to gender later on. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. So it was something that was kind of rooted in my childhood, and then it grew up. It's a feeling I get, I guess, when one doesn't want to be in the situation they're in. They're in an incredibly sad place, and you just want to be anyone but yourself. And I think that's the theme, is that now we have this way of connecting that feeling to a kind of identity. So more and more people who feel this kind of sadness, essentially, are going to start pinning that mentally to this new diagnosis.
And interestingly enough, oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, so and also I think it does speak as well to, being alone, not having anyone to speak to, and then you find yourself online talking to people. You find yourself in forums talking to people who, you don't know who these people are. They may or may not have the best interests at heart. They may be projecting their personal experience on you as well. They may wish that they did something when they were younger, but their lived experience is not the same as anyone else's. So to push it onto someone else is kind of redundant.